Feeling the need for change is at the heart of your ability to make it happen. Welcome to Turning Inward. I'm Vivian Carrasco, your midwife, teacher, and host for this podcast. Together, you and I are going to navigate the interior life. And we're going to do that by unearthing our personal truths, our own insight, and our inner knowing. These are weekly teachings that are brought to you by hard-nosed scientific evidence focused on spiritual direction with integrity and self-awareness. In 2 words, this is your inner work. So I am very excited about being with you here today and learning more about your story. So tell us everything.
Well, first of all, I have been on a journey for many, many years, as probably most of us have. And I've been working with a life coach for the past 3 years. And that's actually how I decided to become a life coach. About 2 months ago, I was at an amazing meeting in Austin, Texas, and everything just kind of fell into place. It was actually quite painful. I thought I was having a nervous breakdown, and I was very frightened. But there was some part of me that knew that it was okay and that this was meant to be. And it was sort of like when the walls come tumbling down kind of thing is what it felt like. So I went through quite a bit of turmoil for probably about 24 hours and ended up at one point I was just wandering the streets of Austin because the only thing that came to me that I could do was to walk. So I walked and walked and walked. And a few times I didn't even really know where I was. Wasn't sure what was going on, but I just knew I was supposed to walk. So these kinds of things went on for, as I said, about 24 hours. And after that, I just felt calm. A calmness so deep that it doesn't compare to anything I had ever felt before. And it even rather defies a description, but just this deep calmness. And I wasn't sure what that was all about, but I knew that compared to the past 24 hours, it was a very, very welcome feeling. So as the days went by, it became clearer and clearer to me that at last I had found my path. I had found that place within me that knows exactly what is right for me, and that place within me that is truly God and this place of incredible peace. And I wouldn't even describe it as a joyful feeling or a ecstatic. It doesn't have all of that high energy. It feels very quiet. And actually, when I was talking to my life coach about it, she was asking me a lot of questions. And when I was done talking, she said, Martha Beck describes that as home. And it was just like, oh my gosh, that's what it is. It's home. That's what it feels like. It feels like this place within me that I can go to where it is absolutely still and calm and peaceful. And over the last couple of months, I've had many, many really wonderful experiences that I have seen beings out in a field next to my house, these shining little lights everywhere, thousands of them. I've seen roses glow. I've seen animals come closer to me than they ever have before. And so all of it kind of goes to this incredible breakthrough that has allowed me to be in this place of peace. And when I get out of it a little bit, I can easily just find my way back. The other interesting thing is I've suffered my whole life. I am an incest, molestation, rape survivor. And Although I've had a very, very good life, I've always struggled with flashbacks and really distrustful feelings, especially towards men, and really lack of trust towards anyone.
Mm-hmm.
So, those were the kinds of things that I was working on before this happened. And the most incredible thing is it is just gone. I have not had a flashback. I have not had that creepy feeling that I used to get when I was around men. I have not felt the anger and resentment towards my mother. And for me, I'm 61 years old. And after a lifetime of dealing with all of that, this is heaven for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like this calm has just engulfed me. I've even tried to remember those feelings, and it's just like, okay, just sit here, and I can intellectually remember them, but I can't feel that triggering in my body that I used to feel. So that's just kind of the Reader's Digest version, but ultimately what's happened at this point is I realize that I'm like in a classroom, and I think we all are.
Mm-hmm.
And the classroom is to provide us with an environment that helps us remember who we really are and helps us to guide us back to that place within us, that the true being that lives inside our bodies. And I think that I've had incredible experiences with my guides I've always known that they were there, but I've never just had such complete and utter trust that they are there and they're helping me every step of the way, that they will not let me fall. And at this point, honestly, I like being in that quiet home place so much that I do have difficulty when I get into a stressful situation, because my immediate response is, oh, I don't like this. I don't like this. I want to go back home.
Mm-hmm.
And that's part of this classroom thing, I believe, is that my guides are helping me with baby steps, teaching me how to be in both worlds,
Mm-hmm.
which is challenging because intellectually, how do you stay in a place of peace and calm when our culture and the world in general seems determined to make sure that we can never go there and stay there? So it's been a very interesting, lately. Now it's this, okay, I'm learning how to be in both places. And it's been awkward, quite honestly, because there have been times I work full time,
Mm-hmm.
and there have been times at work when I have just felt like I can't breathe. I have to go outside. And it's such a strong feeling that I literally have to stop what I'm doing and go outside and breathe and be in nature and smell the fresh air and hear the birds and those kinds of things, because that kind of reconnects me. And so I don't know how long that's going to last. I don't know how long my boss is going to be okay with that, but we'll just see. And I think that honestly, the reason that I was very interested in doing this with you is because one thing is clear to me, and that is that this is not my story. It's not for me to keep hidden away, and that I'm clearly being called
Mm-hmm.
to go out into the world to share my story. I know that I will be judged and I know that I will be challenged, but I feel very firm and committed to my truth. And I think that, I'm not sure what it's going to look like. I don't know what my role is going to be. I just know that I need to share this story and help people to understand that there is a place, there is home, and that home lies in the depths of stillness. And so when we're out there and we're struggling and we're feeling sad or depressed or angry, all those things, we try to use so many incredible strategies to resolve those feelings. And ultimately what it is that we do everything we can to push those feelings away. And so it never gets better. I mean, even on a global level, fight, fight, fight. And we do that as individuals as well. And the only way that we can stop fighting with ourselves is to literally stop and be still and allow all those thoughts and feelings to move through us as if we were just a cloud. And in that stillness, in that process of these things moving through us is where the answers come and where the guidance comes from. I just know that answers lie within us, not outside of us. The experiences that we have on a day-to-day basis, that's part of the classroom, and that's part of what we're experiencing in order to teach us to go back to that place that is just pure love energy. I think it's really been a phenomenal experience for me, which, by the way, is my new favorite word.
Phenomenal.
Because phenomenal. I don't really know.
It's so fancy. Phenomenal.
It is fancy. And sometimes when I try to explain the experiences that I've had over the last couple of months, I just struggle. I struggle to find words. And the one word that just pops out is phenomenal. So I've decided that during a conversation, I may say it 10 times because it's the only word I can think of. I certainly feel honored to have this experience, and I feel honored to share the experience. And the magical part about this, I was on a book club call just a little while ago, and actually this was on Facebook. The question was asked about a book, Diana herself. What was Martha Beck's point in making Diana so average? And my response was that I've always felt too average to be magical. And now I know that magic is average.
Magic is average.
We all are magical beings, and magic happens around us. Magic and miracles, whatever you want to call it, happen around us all the time, but we don't see it. And once we go into this place of stillness and love, we start to see with different eyes. And
it's our true vision, maybe, not just the eyes in our head.
Right. Yeah, I think we're seeing from a different place. I've started calling it magic eyes. And so we look around, and I know that the things that I've seen have always been there. I've just never seen them before, or never
noticed them.
Right. Never noticed them. And I'm in awe all the time about birds that fly right by my face, and just seeing these magical energy beings, thousands of them surrounding me. And there are times when that awesome, incredible energy feels very overpowering to me. And I do have to just kind of stand for a minute and just kind of let that absorb that energy, because what I do is I just start crying every single time because it's that moving to me. My response is to that energy, this really strong, incredible energy causes me to have that. It's not even really like an emotional reaction. It's just sort of like a physical reaction. And I just kind of go to a place of stillness and calm, go home, and then it's easier for me to absorb that energy. With animals, people, everything. I will have to say that I have a strong desire to be alone and to rest. I've been sleeping like 10 hours a night and sleeping like a rock, which I want to tell you, before this, I had problems with insomnia. I would go to sleep fine, but then I would wake up in the middle of the night and I couldn't go back to sleep. And I think in the past 2 months that has happened twice, and it was every night. So something's going on, that's for sure.
Now, I was actually at the gathering that you mentioned in Austin in April. So I have a question for you. Were you,
Sure.
You mentioned that you've been seeing a life coach for the last 3 years, working through things. Did you feel like you were asking or looking for an experience like this? Did you sense that you were sort of drawing yourself to it? I'm curious.
Absolutely. I mean, this was like, I would hear people talk about it, like Martha Beck, and it was just like, I just want to be there. And to me, it was a place of relief and a place of comfort. And so, yes, to your point, I think there's been a lot of work. So the event that took place in Austin was the result of a whole lot of work that has taken place in the past several years, and probably even before that. I think that's how I knew that I wasn't really having a nervous breakdown. I think I knew it's just like, I know what's happening. So I think that our guides, they won't push us. They won't force us. There has to be an opening and a willingness to surrender, give up the fight, basically. And when that opening appears, then they can come in. They can be the support and the teachers and those kinds of things. But if there's no opening, they can't. Does that make sense?
It does. Now, for someone who wants to be there, for someone who wants to find that opening, where or how? Is it asking for it, longing for it? How do we get to where there's an opening for us?
I know that when you allow yourself to be completely still, you don't have to meditate, but just to be completely still and ask. That's
that's beautiful.
This combination of being completely still and open, even if you have to physically open your arms wide so that you feel your chest expand and your heart expand, and then ask your question, ask for what you want, then go back to stillness and openness and wait. Because I think we want this big thing. It's like, okay, I'm completely still. I'm completely open. I'm asking for my guides to help me find my way home. Okay, where is it? Where is it? And that's the kind of energy that pushes them away.
That impatientness.
So, yes. So we have to be completely still and open, ask for what we want, and then just allow it to come instead of going out after it. The difference in the energy is what makes it happen, because this allowing and being open and waiting, they are able to come through at that point. However, if there's this energy, this making something happen kind of energy, they can't get through that.
And they are our guides.
Yes. If you're more comfortable calling them angels or just energy or God or whatever makes you most comfortable, it's really this energetic sources that are able to come through to help us. I mean, we look just like them.
Really?
Yeah, we look just like them. I mean, the real us.
Oh.
We are bright, intensely bright spots of light.
Mm-hmm.
And we just have chosen to be human, and our guides have not. So they're out there helping us, but they can't do it. They have to have our permission.
Now, I love something that you said earlier that I want to draw you back to, and it's that, and I'm not sure if I'm using your exact words, but this is like heaven on earth, and everything is the same, but now you're noticing with wonder and awe, and you didn't before. Is that true?
Yes, I wanted to see with wonder and awe, but again, kind of going back to that energy, the difference is allowing it to come through as opposed to trying to make it happen.
To reaching for it.
Yes. I'm not saying that we don't have to do things,
Mm-hmm.
but the difference is being in that place of calm and stillness, allowing that space to move us. So for instance, if I'm being very quiet and very still and I receive information that says, go over here. So I get up and I go over there because it's just like, okay, I'm doing what I need to do in order for this all to work. However, I'm not sitting here and allowing my ego brain to just go, oh gosh, this is so boring and you should be doing something else. This isn't how it's supposed to work. You should get up. You should walk over there. That's not the kind of work that we're supposed to do from this place. We're supposed to do work that we're moved to do out of this place of stillness.
That we're drawn towards.
Yes, it's in the information does not come from our brains. Just feels completely different. It doesn't feel all like a hurricane. It feels very calm and clear. And there have been times when I've gotten those messages and it's like, no, I don't want to get up and go over there. And guides are just so amazing because they're just so loving
Mm-hmm.
and caring. And so there's no ickiness or anything. It's just that the message will continue to come through until I finally just go do it. It always leads to a wonderful experience. So I've gotten to the point now where I don't even argue with myself about it. It's just like, I know where that came from. There's something for me there. So, and it's just sort of like you on Facebook. Hey, I'd really like to interview you.
Mm-hmm.
There could be 1,000 reasons why I did not touch bases with you. Lots of them, all brain swirly lizard stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew when I saw your Facebook message, it's just like, I had no idea what the conversation was going to be like. I had no idea anything. I had heard your name before and that's about it. But I knew from this deep, quiet, calm place that this was the right thing to do. So here we are.
And thank you so much for sharing your story. Thank you so much for
Well, thank you very
giving us
much.
your experience.
Yes, my purpose is to help other people understand that this is average.
This can
is
be
us.
anyone's. It can be
That's
for everyone.
absolutely.
You're already special.
Yes, we're average in our specialness, each and every one of us.
That is delightful, Candi.
Thank you so much for setting this up. I've really enjoyed talking with you.
So have I. Now, if someone wants to reach out to you or hear your story, how can they get a hold of you?
They can contact me at Candi, Candi, at changethescript, all one word, .net. That's Candi, Candi, at changethescript.net. And I will happily reach out and talk with anyone who has felt something, a tingle inside of them from this conversation.
Oh, that's delightful. Your word is phenomenal, and my word is delightful.
Excellent.
So,
I think together that.
excellent. So, yes, anyone who's felt a tingle, I have felt a tingle from Candi's message. She is open for you to reach out to her. Now, to tell us before we close, changing the script.
Mm-hmm.
If you had just one piece of advice for someone who says, but how do I start? Where do I begin?
Be quiet.
Be quiet.
Every single day, sit still for 15 minutes. And during that still time, be open to whatever comes. Don't fight anything. If your brain is saying you should be doing this and you should be doing that, don't fight those thoughts. Just allow them to move right through you. And in time, you will spend more and more time being quiet, because that's how you connect with all that is and all that we are.
And all that ever will be.
That's right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vivian.
You're welcome. You're so very welcome. If you want more help moving forward and breaking out of a negative mental pattern, I personally host an online community of practice for smart, successful women and a few super cool dudes that gives you more support, tailored training, and an unlimited professional coaching. Visit my digital home at viviancarrasco.com to learn more.